Hello folks, you're watching the Zombie Arcade. I'm your host, Troubletcat. This is a live commentary I'm recording as I'm playing. I'm going to be using a FAMAS here in close quarters. I've actually been really liking the FAMAS on these close quarters maps. I'll just show you. I'm using just a red dot sight and a flash suppressor to kill the recoil a little bit. It's a little bit rough with the small quips and the long reload time, but overall I actually have been liking this gun a lot in CQ. You just have to be sort of careful with managing your ammo. Anyway, that wasn't what I wanted to talk about. Thought I'd just... Oh god! Thought I'd just throw that out there for you guys before I got into talking about it. But this video sort of carries on a little bit from my last BF3 video. BF3 video about Battlefield 4 and the sort of I guess the leaked announcement of the beta or whatever. And basically, what I want to talk about was today I was sort of looking around at what we know about Medal of Honor Advanced Warfighter and what we know about Battlefield 4. Those being sort of the next games coming out from EA, and both shooters that I have a certain degree of interest in. Whether or not that's entirely positive or not is, well, something I'm not going to talk about yet. Man, getting my ass handed to me in this game. I seem to be perpetually surrounded by enemies, so... well, whatever. Anyway, so... some of the things that I thought were kind of interesting is Medal of Honor Advanced Warfighter, or sorry, Medal of Honor Warfighter. Why do I keep saying Advanced Warfighter? That's a Ghost Recon subtitle. Very similar sounding, I guess. Anyway, Medal of Honor Warfighter is going to be using Battlelog in addition to BF3, which already uses it, and presumably BF4, which I thought was kind of interesting. They're sort of branching out, putting more games on that. I like Battlelog, I'm not going to lie. I would prefer it if BF3 had a sort of... like, if the Battlelog feature set was something that ran through an existing game client, but when you consider that they're going to be putting other games on there, it starts to make some sense that it's like a web browser kind of thing. I don't know. I think that's kind of cool. And with Battlefield 4, we have no details yet, obviously. But what we do know is DICE has said the beta will be in fall 2013. So towards the end of 2013, we're talking about 6 months after the last Battlefield 3 DLC expansion pack, whatever you want to call it, comes out in March 2013. So there's sort of a 6-month gap there, and then Battlefield 4 beta, and presumably the game will come out, you know, October, November, December. Presumably the game will come out late 2013, maybe early 2014. They might not. They might keep it till January, February. But my money would be on November, November 2013 for the actual release of the game. And so I was sort of thinking about these games, and I mean, there's a fair bit of footage of Warfighter, Medal of Honor Warfighter out already, a fair bit of details and stuff, and some of that looks kind of interesting. I like Medal of Honor 2010. And I was sort of thinking about whether or not I would actually buy these games, considering EA's recent history, particularly with Battlefield 3. And I mean, obviously, Medal of Honor is being developed by a different... Warfighter is being developed by a different studio. It's not being developed by DICE at all. But it's still an EA game, and there's certain similarities between the franchises. It's using the same graphics engine, and like with Medal of Honor 2010, DICE made the multiplayer for that game, and presumably the team at Danger Close working on Warfighter are going to be taking some sort of leaves out of that book, keeping some of the feel the same and stuff like that. That's C4. Which should be going off right now. Alright, there's a grenade on it, I guess. Alright. So obviously some similarities are going to be in there, and those are sort of the upcoming shooters that I'm most likely to have interest in. You know, Black Ops 2 I might pick up out of morbid curiosity, but for the most part, it's sort of these EA games are where my interest is more likely to lie. And I was asking myself, you know, after BF3, am I going to buy these games? And my initial reaction was no. BF3 is a game that I like a lot, and I had a lot of faith in the product. I like some of the stuff they did with it, but the fact is, and I honestly think that this will still be a problem with Warfighter, because I feel that, that's C4, I feel that EA is more to blame for this than DICE. I think this is sort of part of EA's whole spiel with pushing games out quickly and maybe preferring a focus on DLC over patches and stuff like that, you know, in an effort to make ridiculous amounts of cash dollars. And to be honest, I like BF3 as a game, but I am disappointed at some of the problems that are still in the game after this long, that, I mean, all the Battlefield games were a little bit rough on release, but they were fixed by now in the past. And so I was sort of thinking, you know, no. I would wait and look at reviews, look at what the community reaction was, and if it looked like Battlefield 4 in particular was a substantial improvement over BF3, then I would think about buying it. I wasn't, you know, going to pre-order it. I wasn't, you know, I'm certainly not recommending any of you run out and buy it, or a Warfighter. I think a degree of caution is advised here, and in fact required if you don't want to completely lose control. I was wondering why that guy waited for so long to set off his C4. It was so that he could run back down and recap the point and get more points after detonating it. I see. Anyway. Well, that's not going to happen again. But then I sort of realized that I'm actually gonna have to pre-order Warfighter and get that early Battlefield, or that Battlefield 4 beta access, and I'm probably gonna have to buy BF4 on release. And that's not actually because that's what I think is a wise purchasing decision. I want to be clear on that. If you ask my opinion, I would say wait with both games. Absolutely, wait for reviews, and by reviews I mean reviews from places you can trust, from smaller independent fucking critics, game journalists, stuff like that. People like me, for example. I'm talking, but I mean not me specifically, just not GameSpot, IGN, places like that, that, in my opinion, do not give trustworthy reviews. So wait for that community reaction with those games, is my purchasing advice there. But I'll be pre-ordering Warfighter, I'll be buying Battlefield 4 on release, and the reason for that is that I am one of those people who has, like, I have a viewership. I feel that, for example, if the games turn out to be shitty, and I can buy them and put up some videos and tell people, you know, for sure when the games are actually out, look guys, don't buy this crap, and other people save their money and don't support, you know, dodgy games, dodgy business practices, that makes it worthwhile to me, even though I end up giving EA my real cash dollars in a situation that I would generally find somewhat uncomfortable. So, will I be buying Medal of Honor, Warfighter, and BF4? The answer is absolutely yes. Should you buy them? The answer is wait and see, I guess. I don't know. Wait and see what the community reaction is to them, because there's a good chance that Warfighter won't be a very good game. There's a good chance that Battlefield 4 won't improve on the franchise in the way that I think we'd all like to see. All of us Battlefield fans who maybe enjoy BF3. I don't hate the game. I will never be a hater of this game. I never have been. But who are a little bit disappointed that the game is perhaps not all it could be. I'd say it's definitely, you want to be cautious with future installments. And particularly, it's sort of, I don't want to, I used to really like Electronic Arts, or I mean, I used to not have anything against them at least. They seemed like sort of a decent publishing company. They didn't seem that evil. But lately, I'm starting to feel kind of uncomfortable about giving EA all my real cash dollars, and it's sort of, yeah, I don't know. I would actually prefer myself to not immediately buy the games and wait and see what's happening, but I think it's sort of worth it for me, in particular, to take the risk. I feel especially bad about pre-ordering. I don't like this whole trend with the, like, pre-order bonuses and stuff like that, because, I mean, it's specifically so that, you know, they throw in these pre-order bonuses and they generate all this hype, and the idea is to get people, you know, paying the money before the game comes out, before any reviews can come out, before there can be word of mouth or community reaction or anything like that. And it's basically, when you're using a business model like that with all these bonuses for pre-orders and stuff, it actually, you suddenly don't need to make a good game anymore. It doesn't matter. People already fucking, I mean, I'd say that, you know, probably like half the people who were playing BF3 on day, like on the first week or so, probably more even, pre-ordered the game, which means that even if the game had been terrible, they still would have made their money. And I don't know, that seems that seems like something that as gamers and as consumers in a more general sense, you want to be careful about. I mean, obviously if a company continually releases bad products, people are eventually going to stop buying their games, but it means that they can get away with releasing shitty games every now and then and still making huge amounts of cash from them. Where what should happen is that, you know, some people buy it day one, most people, though, you know, wait a couple days and see what people are saying about it and stuff like that, and I don't know. Just be careful with your purchasing decisions, I guess is all I'm trying to say. Leading my team here. Thought I wasn't doing very well, but anyway, I think I sort of covered what I wanted to talk about. You know, whether or not I'm buying those two games, whether or not I think you should buy them. I think I covered that. Only a few tickets left, so I'll stay into the end of the match here, even though this game is not going particularly well for me or for my team. I tried, but could not ultimately achieve victory. So let me know in the comments below. Are you going to be buying Warfighter Battlefield 4 on day one? Are you going to pre-order? Oh God! Do you think the DICE is going to make Battlefield 4 the game that Battlefield 3 should have been? You know, 2 years sort of after BF3 came out and had some shortcomings and stuff like that. And if they do that, if BF4 is Battlefield 3, but, you know, without the shortcomings of BF3, if Battlefield 4 is sort of a truer sequel to BF2, has better netcode, stuff like that, does it excuse DICE from their perhaps somewhat, you know, it could have been a worse handling with BF3, certainly, it could have been a lot worse, but does it excuse them from the things about BF3 and the way the whole situation was handled that were not that great? I don't know. I'm inclined to say that kind of. Not really, but it would sort of regain, you know, some trust with them in my eyes if Battlefield 4 ends up being, you know, really a sort of a 10 out of 10 game like we thought BF3 might be before it came out. It was sort of more like along the lines of an 8 out of 10 with some kind of weird issues and stuff like I don't know. Perhaps they don't require my forgiveness so much, since this is ultimately a good game. It's just, I like BF3. It's a good game. It's just been disappointing. And overall, I'd say the experience has reduced my faith in DICE. To the point that, yeah, well, I had no qualms about pre-ordering this game. I would recommend being a little more cautious with Battlefield 4 especially, and also with Warfighter, since EA are, once again, the evil masterminds behind that one. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought of the video. And until next time, Troubletcat out.